Welcome to another edition of Let's Play WWE 2015, and we have arrived at our last show of February, and the countdown continues on the road to WrestleMania. Tonight, one more match is made official for WrestleMania, and that is the ladies' match between Paige and AJ that has been building since the start of 2015 and the end of 2014. Now the hardest part is who wins this match. I don't think, based on game, I don't think he'll put him over. I think he'd go to a draw. So let's do that. Let's go to a draw. You know what? I'm going to go with a little differently. Daniel's going to win. Do I have time? I do have time. And then we add this. Bray, Abyss, Eric, Luke, Daniel. And then, what would tonight be without a match on the pre-show? As we head to the mid-card, and my frequently used mid-carder, Justin Gabriel, will go up against Joe Hennig on the pre-show. And I'll let the game choose who wins because it's fun not picking mid-carders to win. So, without delay, let's jump into the show. And once again, Justin Gabriel gets the victory in a match of the underused, keeping his win streak alive. And I can tell you this much, that we may be seeing the ascension of the Darewolf, and him ascending his way in to title contention as we draw closer to WrestleMania. But either way, the least he could do is work his way onto the show first and then into title contention second. Much like I don't want to say last week on Raw, because I don't think that's how Raw started. I don't remember, though. I apologize. But either way, we kick off Smackdown with Daniel Bryan, Kane, and MVP talking about the Wyatts and what happened at Fastlane and what started on Raw between Daniel and Abyss, and will finish tonight in tonight's main event between the aforementioned Daniel Bryan and the newly debuted Monster Abyss. It isn't that long after Daniel, Kane, and MVP start talking that they are joined by Bray Wyatt by himself. And all Bray says is, Daniel, remember, we're always one step ahead of you. Always. And then Stephanie makes her way to the ring comes on the Titantron and makes a tag team match for later tonight between the Wyatt family, Eric Rowan and Luke Harper, and MVP and Kane. Now we head to the opening match tonight, and it's Jack Swagger versus Flex Freeman, and Jack gets the pretty easy victory tonight as he tries to recoup some momentum that may have been lost at Fastlane against Ryback. Now Jack Swagger gets on the shtick after the match and calls out his one-time mentor, Zeb Coulter, because Jack says he believes he deserves an explanation as to why Zeb sided with Ryback and turned his back on Swagger. Jack doesn't get Zeb, he gets Ryback. And Ryback comes out and makes fun of Jack Swagger, saying he's a loser, saying that Zeb Coulter was sick and tired of watching somebody he actually tried to help be an embarrassment to Zeb Coulter and the Zeb Coulter name. So he sided with a real man. He sided with the big guy. And Jack, if you want more of the big guy, you name the time and the place, and I'll beat you like I did at Fastlane. Oh yeah, Prince of the pre-show? Before things get too heated, Zeb Coulter takes Ryback out of the ring and brings him, separates him, I guess you could say, from Jack Swagger. And then we head backstage as Seth Rollins is talking to Triple H about what Randy Orton talked about on Raw regarding how Randy believes Seth is the new Randy Orton, and once Hunter is done taking advantage of Seth out of fear, he'll throw Seth away just like he did Randy. And Hunter says, I did that to Randy, you're right, but not out of fear. I did it for his own good, because he would have been eaten alive without me. You, Seth, you can stand without me, because you are more talented than Randy ever was, or ever will hope to be. The only reason why he's trying to get into your head is because he's afraid of you, Seth. He's afraid. And he should be. 'Cause you are better than him. As the brainwashing continues between with the Authority and Seth Rollins, we move forward to the next match, and it's Kevin Owens versus Shelton Benjamin, and Kevin Owens gets the win over Shelton. And much like you've seen in the past from me, the match isn't the important part, it's the promo after. Because Kevin Owens goes off. Kevin Owens says he's sick and tired of John Cena. He's sick and tired of being tied to John Cena. And that when he said that he was going to end Cena's career on the grandest stage of them all, that wasn't a threat. That was a promise. Because I'm done being tied to John Cena. And I'm done with John Cena. Following a commercial break, we come back, and once again, much like earlier, we find Stephanie making her presence felt, only now she is in the ring, and she is calling out both Paige and AJ to the ring as the Authorities made the decision. Triple H just stands there after AJ and Paige get in the ring, right in between AJ and Paige, and says to both of them, "Look, it is quite obvious that you two hate each other. It is quite obvious you two have had a rivalry, but unlike any we've seen in recent memory in the WWE between two women. And that's why we need to have a match between you two that we have not seen. Because me and Steph both agree that we don't think both of you can be together in the WWE. And that is why we've decided at WrestleMania it will be Paige versus AJ one-on-one in a loser leaves WWE match. So one of you, both of you, will walk into WrestleMania employed by this company, but only one of you will leave still employed by this company. May the better woman win. Now we head over to Jason Albert, Jerry Lawler, and Scott Hudson as they talk up what we just heard, the fact that Triple H and Stephanie decided that both Paige and AJ can't be together in a WWE ring, in the WWE, because they can't be together without fighting. They hate each other. And that means only one thing is possible, and that one thing that needs to happen is Paige versus AJ, WrestleMania, the loser leaves match. So one woman will not be employed by the WWE anymore following WrestleMania 31. Now we head up to the next match as the Wyatt family go up against Kane and MVP, and Kane and MVP are victorious over the Wyatts via disqualification when the other two members of the Wyatt family, Bray Wyatt and Abyss, ran in and attacked Kane and MVP and the four of them beat down Kane and MVP. Though they beat him down, they didn't beat him down for that long, because before we knew it, Daniel Bryan runs down, and as Daniel runs in, Bray calls his family out of the ring, and they retreat. Not out of fear. You can tell by the look on Bray's face, he's got a plan. Because looking at both Kane and MVP especially, MVP doesn't look 100% after the attack from the Wyatts. Once again, we come back from commercial break, and this time, Dean Ambrose is making his way to the ring, and Dean Ambrose issues an open challenge to anybody backstage to come out and fight him because he's pissed off. He's pissed off out of being screwed out of the Intercontinental title by The Miz at Fastlane, and he will get his rematch clause. But first, he needs to take a little frustration out. You're gonna like who accepted his challenge, I guarantee it. The man who accepted Dean Ambrose's challenge is the internet famous Braden Walker. That's right, Braden Walker accepted Dean's open challenge tonight. And of course, Dean quickly sends Braden Walker back to wherever he was. And much like his last stint in WWE, Braden Walker's time in WWE was over before it started. And then, right after the match, Dean, once again, goes on and on about Miz and Alex Riley, and makes a crack about how The Miz and Alex Riley are more than friends. And then he offers Alex Riley a little bit of advice to not let The Miz come to an abrupt stop, because he might end up so far up The Miz's ass that he wouldn't be able to find his way back out again. Now we head backstage, and if you remember, I would say, I think last year he did this, when Stardust, when they would cut backstage and Stardust would be in a room full of stars cutting, an Ultimate Warrior-esque promo where you can't really understand what he's saying, but all you know is he's talking about stars. That's exactly where this promo is set and what this promo is about. But I will tell you this much: in a not too distant future, namely on next week's episode of Raw, you will find out why Stardust finally turned his back on Goldust and what the future holds for the two Dust Brothers. Divas match with Naomi, Emma, and Nikki. And once again, Naomi wins. Why? Well, this week's different than Monday night. This is different than Monday night. I felt like she needed another win going into her match on Monday against Natalya for the WWE Divas title. But that's not all, because after the match, Nikki grabs a microphone and tells Naomi, you're right. You're right that since Survivor Series, nobody's cared about us. People have only cared about AJ Lee, or Paige, or Mickie James, or Natalya. But we're not jokes. We're not jokes. We're not any less talented than those four divas. We are just as much important as a part of this division as they are, and we deserve the spotlight just as much as they do. So what I'm saying is, Naomi, I'm rooting for you on Monday night, because the only way things change is with a new face on top. And all I ask from you is, when you beat Natalya, you give me the first shot. Because that will be a breath of fresh air. You know something, Nikki? You got it. And then we head backstage, and we see Kurt Angle walking backstage, assumingly to the authorities' office, but who knows? But either way, we see Kurt Angle walking backstage, and he turns and he notices somebody off camera, and then he just comes face to face with the lunatic fringe Dean Ambrose, much to the delight of every fan in the American Bank Center in Texas tonight for Smackdown, because just the thought of these two going one-on-one in the WWE, I don't know about you, but I mark out for that. Now we head back to the ring as it's time for the main event, and it's Daniel Bryan versus the Monster Abyss, and Daniel defeats Abyss with the no-lock. Yes, I am well aware that this is Abyss's debut, but I know what I'm doing. Because right after the match, Bray Wyatt ascends from backstage. Daniel notices Abyss on the outside by the announcer's table, and then the lights go down, and when they come back up, Eric Rowan, Luke Harper, and Abyss and Bray are surrounding the ring, and Daniel is there by himself. and Bray just stands there and tells the other three, get him. You have 3 men over 6 feet tall, over 300 pounds. Well, at least Abyss is. I don't know about Eric and Luke. But either way, they're over 6 feet tall and a lot bigger than Daniel Bryan. You have all 3 of them ganging up on Daniel and beating him down and beating him down and beating him down. And then Bray comes in, picks up the pieces, and hits him with his sister Abigail as SmackDown ends with the Wyatts hanging over the limp body of Daniel Bryan like a pack of wolves. And Bray just smiles at the damage he's caused as SmackDown goes to black. And this week ends. Unfortunately, much like it seems like every other week with SmackDown, we lose more than we gain. We gained popularity in 7 regions and lost it in 16. Much like every other week for SmackDown, I thought that this week was a better show than we normally have. But, I mean, I guess that's just my optimism. But either way, our final rating is a 72. And I don't know about you, but I thought this show was good. Let me know down in the comment section below. What was your favorite part of the show? What was your least favorite part of the show? What would you have done differently if you were me? And as always, feedback is welcomed. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this that you can only find right here at Wrestling Express.